Getting a crash at the Mill Avenue overpass of the US 60, the Superstition Freeway. Our photojournalist Rick Lebo capturing this video for us overnight. We're told two people were transported to the hospital. No word right now on their condition. I've been watching the ADOT cameras in that spot there at the overpass, and right around 4:45 we saw that area clear up. So that's some good news if you're traveling in the East Valley. I'll have a full look at your commute coming up in just railroad crossings in the entire country. And today, ADOT is wanting to get your thoughts on how to improve it all. In an all-new Operation Safe Roads report, we're shining a spotlight on the proposed project at 35th Avenue and crashes in the East Valley. That crashed at the US 60 Mill, which now cleared. Here's a view right now. Those current conditions, mostly green across the board. We know that's going to change relatively soon. So we're going to track some of those desert drive times for you. I'm Megan Thompson here on this Thursday, getting you a view of that commute as we inch closer to the weekend. Here's a view of the Durango curve. The I-17 there in that southbound direction as you're making that transition from the Stack interchange where the 17 and the 10 meet over to the split right there near Sky Harbor. Things look pretty good as you're working through that area. No major delays. It should take you about 6 minutes to work your way through that particular area. Taking you over to the East Valley, we do still have this crash that's in the clearing stages, though, the 202, the northbound direction of the Santan Freeway as you're making your way to the Super Red Tan, you guys. So that's some good news there in the East Valley that you're not going to see those flashing lights for much longer and those green flows. And we've reached out for more information there. We're going to keep you posted as you learn more, as we learn some more of those details for you and how those folks are doing who are involved in those crashes. And here's a wide view across the valley. Nick and Kaylee, as you get out the door here with our valley freeways, definitely seeing that slowing begin along I-10. So we'll track your desert drive time with Traffic Planner Plus in just a few. This crash along the East Valley freeways, the 202. It's in that eastbound direction as you're making your way from the Red Mountain Freeway, trying to transition to the Loop 101. This is that area where you're going to make that decision if you want to go to the Loop 101 North, the Pima Freeway, or the Loop 101 South, the Price Freeway, as you're traveling through this area. You notice those flashing lights are trying to work their way closer and closer to the scene with a lot of brake lights in that area, speeds dropping to 20 miles per hour. Nick and Kaylee, you may want to hop off at McClintock and get back on using University to get you over to the 101 if you need to travel there in that southbound direction. I'll keep watching this area plus as we track those desert drive times all around the valley, starting with that West Valley commute as make your way out the door and along with the 17 and the 51. Let's go through those. 35 minutes on the 10 from the 303 to the mini stack, 17 minutes on the 17 from the 101 to the stack, and 13 minutes on the 51. As we track some more spots around the valley, the 101 northbound from the 202 to the 17, 24 minutes in the green. The South Mountain Freeway also in the green, but we are in the red there for you folks coming from Maricopa into the Phoenix metro area along the I-10, or to the I-10 rather. That's 22 minutes as you get going there. For the East Valley, green flows around the Red Mountain Freeway, the 60 and the 101 as you get out the door. I did just get an update on that crash along the 202. If you're trying to transition from the Red Mountain Freeway to the 101, I'll bring you that update ahead in our 6 o'clock hour. Hey, I'm Megan Thompson watching those roadways as you get going and want to bring you that live view of the Loop 202. I was telling you not too long ago, we were talking with DPS behind the scenes, watching these ADOT cameras here as more and more flashing lights arrive to the scene as you're making your transition from the 202 Red Mountain to the 101. It's in that eastbound direction as you're working your way either toward that northbound direction, which will take you to the Scottsdale area, or that southbound direction there in the Tempe, the Mesa area, the East Valley. So there's that view now of those flashing lights now gone. Still a little bit of slowing in that area. Heads up as you're making that transition to the Price Freeway towards that southbound direction that you may hit the brakes a bit, but we do know that tow trucks were on scene and getting folks out of the way. So hopefully all of them disappear in the next few minutes. Here's a wide view across the valley. You notice that slowing is there along I-10 like we're used to, and also the 17 and also along that Durango curve area. So we'll track those desert drive times still coming up. That the ADOT cameras in that area actually moved off of there. So I was hoping that meant that overpass was back open. That's just not the case here this morning. So you're going to want to use some alternates as you get out the door as we gather more of those details like Rural Road there in that area to hop on and off of that 60 interchange. And you mentioned it. It's not the only trouble spot we're dealing with too. We got the stalled vehicle on the I-10 eastbound near about 83rd Avenue. Some flashing lights were off to the right hand side. That usually slows people down anyway. They've since moved out of the roadway, but we still got that vehicle off to the right and we still got that typical slowing. So We're going to track those speeds for you and those desert drive times coming up in just a few minutes. But first, want to bring in meteorologist Jorge Torres. He is back with us here on ABC 15 Morning. Now at 6:47, tracking those desert drive times all around town as you're making your way through some of those spots right now. Let's see if we can get that graphic to move along on the I-10 eastbound from the 303 to the mini stack. That's 45 minutes, 23 minutes on the 17 southbound from the 101 to the stack, and 16 minutes for you in the 51 southbound from the 101 over towards that mini stack interchange. The Loop 101 in that northbound direction from the 202 to the 17 there in the Scottsdale area looks fantastic, good and green. 20 minutes on the South Mountain Freeway, also a great spot. Definitely seeing slowing, though, for your commuters on the 347, making your way from Maricopa to I-10. Plan for a ride of about 30 minutes there. And that East Valley drive time looking good, too. We did have that crash on the 202 Red Mountain as you were transitioning to the 101 there in that eastbound to southbound direction. That has now cleared, so that's looking good. And then we look at that westbound side from the 101 to the mini stack. That should take you 9 minutes, just around 5 minutes on the 60 westbound from the 101 over to the 10. Just keep in mind, we do still have those restrictions on the 60 near Mill, the overpass area. So you may want to use Rule or McClintock to get by that spot. 9 minutes on the Loop 101 northbound from the 202 Santan up to the 202 Red Mountain here on this Thursday.